Bookworms, in this hour we are sitting down with Constance Chivanga to talk about her book, which is titled Before It Fades, something you definitely want to add to your library. Good morning, Constance.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good, good, good. Let's start at the beginning. Were you always an avid reader? Did you enjoy reading as you were growing up?
Yeah, I used to be an avid reader, which is a very weird characteristic for
Why,
a social person.
How is that a weird characteristic?
For a social person, because I was also out there.
Oh,
so
right.
I did all the sports and everything, so balancing the reading side, the bookwormish side, to the outspoken side is like a real interesting
How
character.
did you balance that?
I think with me, it's just that I'm used to being busy from a young age. So you go to public speaking, you see me there. If it's reading, I'm reading. If it's basketball, you see me there. If it's sciencey stuff, I'm there. Academics, I'm there. Athletics, I'm there. So everywhere.
What did you enjoy most about reading?
I think for me with reading, it's diving into the book. So it's like I'm living into the writer's words. So for my first book, I remember it was The Kaffir Boy. And there, I figured that it's the journey through his emotions writing it and the emotions he gives the characters. So it was like a balance of the two.
How did you start writing? How did you shift from reader to writer?
I think for me, it's a funny story, actually. I got a new MacBook from school. I got a scholarship at Higher International School. Then I got a new MacBook. It is an iAuthor. I'm like, you know what? This is an interesting application. Let me just try it out.
Wow.
Then I got there. I'm like, but I can write a book. Let me title it Before It Fades. And that was the whole idea behind it.
And how old were you at this point?
I was 18.
Wow.
So I was like, let me just dive into this new world. But I was already a poet before. So it was like, I'm shifting from poetry to now like short story writing. But I did write a short story for African Diaspora publication. That was when I was 17, called My African Dream. That was like the first writing.
So I think it's safe to say that literary works are your thing. That is definitely your thing. And what is it about writing for you? What does it do for you as a person?
I think for me, it's a healing process. It's a move from a traumatic experience, because even though I'm outspoken, I'm not very good at expressing emotions using my words. So I write them down, and whenever I get like the edgy feel, I put it into like wording, and people think, oh, this is amazing work, but in reality, it's a speech of emotions.
So you're holding here Before It Fades. Tell us about this book.
So with Before It Fades, it's a move from a not so broken future. Sorry, a move from a broken past to a not so broken future. So it's for the young people by a young person, but declared on my book launch is apparently for everyone. But it's basically an like a book that holds advices, motivations, and also emotions. So it talks about the past, talks about broken homes, talks about if you ever experienced your parents breaking up, if you've ever been abused before, if you've ever went through all those traumatic experiences, even just as simple as not getting time with parents. So moving from that to self-validation, self-redefinition, then moving to a not so broken future, one you have all control over. But all this on a Christian basis.
How much of this book did you write for yourself?
I think all of it as well, because it's also a healing process. So when you go through the book, you're gonna go through my emotions from what I was feeling back then, when I was like very young, to when I got to find help as to how I can move from that broken past, to also when I had to see, okay, this is how I can get there, this is what I need for the future. So it's like my healing process, but also helps other people to heal.
How was it reliving some of the emotions from your past? I know sometimes we think we've passed something, we think we're over it, and then you start to think about what happened and you start to go through that process again, and you find your emotions are actually still in that space. How was it to revisit that space for you?
I would say very hard. It was very hard because it's something that you use like to put in a small corner and you're like, I'll never get back there. But having to go back there and say, okay, I need to deal with this. And I think I'm grateful to the Holy Spirit for this, actually, because he took me through it. He had to say, Parida, I know you want to publish the easier part, but let's go to the harder parts because I want to reach more of my children who are there. And that guided me. He put people around me who were helping me with those emotions, people like my publisher, people like my family, my friends. They were really working with me through the emotions because I had to dig in deep and to say, this is what I want to give the world. So that was like very traumatic.
Why was it important for you to write this book, Paida? You're very young, and to put together such an intensive collection in a minute, why was it important for you?
I think it goes on to my bigger vision. I want to reach out to the young people who are also broken. Because I believe that all those things that we are trying to fight right now, I call them the fruits of a broken past. Drug abuse, sexual immorality, things like high crime rates and all those stuff. If you really look and talk to those people, they have a broken past they didn't heal from. So those are the fruits they've gotten. And when I looked at it, people are like, oh, Zimbabwe is now facing high drug abuse or substance abuse rates for the young people. And they're trying to fight the fruit. And to me, it's like, you're really not dealing with the root cause of this. The people, young people out there are screaming for help. So that's why I was like, let me come out as a young person and say, before I get on my toes, before I get on my the young people campaigns, we need to really go back to the root and deal with those past emotions and then let them go there.
Thank you so much for coming and sitting down with us and sharing, of course, this journey with us. Now, you do need to get your hands on Before It Fades. Add it to your library and it will help you through whatever you are going through. Now, of course, that does mean we are at the end of Morning Rush. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning. We'll see you again tomorrow, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Have a great Tuesday.